could the Avengers stop a Saiyan invasion? Fuck.
Earth's mightiest heroes. Coming together from an unlikely array of different origins, they are some of the most powerful characters in the entire... Throughout their tenure, they have taken on numerous threats who have sought to both conquer, destroy, or irreparably change both the Earth and even the entire universe. The current culmination and greatest threat to the Avengers has been Thanos, the Mad Titan, who successfully collected the Infinity Stones and wiped out half the population of the entire universe.
Can Goku beat Sentry? Yes, I think Goku can beat Sentry. I think if he transforms to that weird shadow state thing he was in the movie in Thunderbolts, I think Goku would obviously lose. But you know, you're not dead. I don't know if you guys. I guess I'm spoiling Thunderbolts, but you're not. You don't die if you're in that state in the like shadow realm or what. You essentially just enter some sort of shadow realm.
If, in an alternate universe, the Avengers faced a very different group of alien invaders, ones who cared less about bringing balance to the universe and cared more about simply conquering it. What if the Avengers had to stop a Saiyan invasion?
What is this?
We will be covering if the Marvel Cinematic Universe versions of the Avengers would be capable of saving Earth from the events of the Saiyan saga. First, with the arrival of Raditz.
I'm gonna say he's gonna say yes. I think Hulk and Thor got this shit in the bag. I think just the two of them got that shit.
And then
but he did include Endgame right there, so he might be including Captain Marvel and a bunch of other Doctor Strange. So yeah, you know, if it's all the rest of the Avengers, right? If it's all the rest of the Avengers from like Endgame, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, then at that point, yeah, Vegeta and Nappa are getting cooked. But if it's just the Avengers from the first Avengers movie, then Hulk and Thor are probably going to be soloing most of it.
The later arrival of Vegeta.
LeBron can stop a Saiyan invasion. Okay, buddy. Somebody get this guy Drew out of here.
In this scenario, Raditz is arriving to Earth not because of Goku's existence there, but just because how it's disconnected from much of the universe socially, making it easier to conquer. We'll cover later on why Vegeta might follow Raditz to Earth, but for now, the video will be a mix of actual power scaling and a realistic what-if of how characters would actually interact. To begin, we'll be considering this scenario as if the Saiyans are directly
Worldbreaker Hulk claps Goku. I agree.
Replacing Thanos during the events of Infinity War, meaning that the Avengers are currently disbanded, but many of them are close to their peaks of power, at least as a team, due to the nature of the Saiyan flight pods and how.
Okay, so he just confirmed that he's basically using Avengers, Infinity War / Endgame characters. So, chat, yeah, Vegeta and Nappa are cooked.
In this scenario, the first contact with the invasion forces would be on Earth instead of on Thor's spaceship. This immediately means the likes of Heimdall and Loki are alive, and that Hulk is never traumatized by his encounter with Thanos. However, this also leaves them completely unaware of what is happening on Earth. Raditz would arrive somewhere on Earth, likely once again in a random field somewhere, just like in original Dragon Ball, and immediately begin going about his business, similar to how he did in the original series, looking for the highest power levels on the planet. I think it's likely that while no humans on Earth would necessarily have a scalable ki, there would be objects that would be giving off higher levels of energy that the Scouter might be able to pick up, namely the 2 Infinity Stones, as well as potentially things like Tony's Arc Reactor. Thus, I think it's very likely that either...
Damn, so Tony Stark really is the main character, bro. Hey, listen, chat, I have a controversial take. Listen, you know how people are like, oh, the MCU's dead, oh, it's never going to be good again. Listen, the MCU died when Iron Man died, okay? I'm going to say it right now, until they reboot the entire MCU, bro, with they reboot everything, okay? The MCU will never be as great as it once was, okay? Because Iron Man, listen, Iron Man carried that shit on his back.
Begins destroying things randomly, like we see Saiyans do in previous invasions, or he heads directly to New York to confront those high-level energy signatures. It's here that I think Raditz would be confronted in a very similar fashion to how the Black Order was, getting put up against Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and potentially Spider-Man and Wong. In this scenario, could they win? It's now that we need to go over the actual scaling of the characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In Guardians of the Galaxy, we are shown the strength of the Power Stone when a Celestial uses a single tap of the stone to wipe out a planet. This feat has been calced at large planet-busting levels of power. This level of power is consistent with characters capable of wielding the Power Stone like Ronan the Accuser, who took almost 0 damage from being hit by the Hadron Enforcer, which is a weapon that is capable of destroying moons. As we see across both Endgame and Infinity War, high-level Avengers are capable of matching or at least taking attacks from the Power Stone directly, which would put them close to the large planet-level power of attack potency and durability.
Damn.
Speed is a
Damn, bro. Damn. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. He's kind of cooking. I honestly think Nappa and Vegeta are cooked. That is crazy. Monakage, do you think Gohan deserved beast mode? No, I do not think so.
lot weirder in the Marvel
that's a conversation for another day, though.
Universe, as characters swap hands with normal humans and then go on to fight characters with drastically higher speed feats. At the high end, both Iron Man and Doctor Strange scale relative to Thanos in combat speed, who could intercept Captain Marvel while she was mid-flight. This is impressive given that we see at the start of Endgame, Tony was thousands of light years away from Earth, with Captain Marvel able to fly there in a couple days, which really, no matter which way you scale that, is at least thousands of times faster than light. For a more consistent low end, earlier models of Iron Man's armor use particle beams that would likely be light speed, with characters being able to react to more powerful versions of these beams. Thus, MCU high tiers likely range anywhere from faster than light to massively faster than light plus in combat speed. So, what about Raditz? Statements about Raditz
is getting cooked. Raditz is absolutely getting cooked, chat. I'm not even gonna lie. Raditz is absolutely getting cooked.
Power level have actually varied throughout the story, ranging from 1,200, which is the strength of a Cyberman, all the way to 1,600. This puts Raditz well above moon level, as the value is about 30% to 56% higher than the power level of Goku's Super Kamehameha during his fight with Piccolo Jr., which had a power level of 910 and was stated capable.
So the thing is with Vegeta and Nappa, right? They have the power to destroy planets, but can they tank? They tank planet busting attacks? Vegeta could. Yeah, I think Vegeta could. Because Goku does do like a times 4 Kamehameha on Vegeta, and Vegeta survives. So yeah, I think Vegeta would be able to survive a planet busting attack. Also, they have Great Ape, and Great Ape is Great Ape makes them 10 times stronger, which is pretty big. It's pretty big.
Of shattering the moon. Raditz's power level may be higher if you think he's stronger than the Piccolo who destroyed the moon, as that attack is calced at large planet level as well. But Piccolo might have actually surpassed
Nappa solos. Well, they also have the Cybermen as well, and Cybermen, I believe, are planet busting as well. I think. I don't know though. I could be wrong.
Raditz by the time he did that feat. For speed, Raditz should be comfortably faster than light, given his speed being multiple times faster than the likes of Kid Goku, who has multiple light dodging feats in OG Dragon Ball. So, how does this first fight go? Stats-wise, they are insanely close to each other, maybe even more close than Goku and Piccolo were to Raditz. While they are all FTL plus in between moon and large planet level, Raditz simply would not be able to keep up with the hacks at Tony and especially Doctor Strange's disposal. I think it's likely that Raditz would lose in a 2v1, just like how he lost to Goku and Piccolo. Just like in the original story, Raditz would be able to relay information off to Vegeta and Nappa about the people on this planet having access to odd magical items of immense power after seeing the Time Stone in action. Thus, instead of the Dragon Balls, the Saiyans would head to Earth to try and collect the Infinity Stones for themselves. To make this as fair as possible, the Avengers will also be aware that the Saiyans are coming and that they have a year to prepare for them, just like the Z-Fighters did. In the span of...
Damn, bro, yeah, no, Vegeta and Nappa are cooked, bro. If the Avengers find out they have a year in advance before a threat comes, bro, it's over. It's over. The Avengers are going to win. Vegeta and Nappa are getting cooked.
This year, we'll say that they essentially did all the prep that they did in Endgame and Infinity War. So, in this scenario, essentially identical to Endgame...
Great Ape Vegeta kills all the Avengers with Mouth Beam?
Massive
maybe. We're about to find out, right?
Army of Avengers are lined up and prepared for battle. Instead of Thanos and his army, it's simply 2 Saiyan pods that crash down. Just like in Dragon Ball Z, they don't want to simply destroy everything and risk destroying what they came here for.
Yep, they're cooked. Okay, hear me out. This is what they do. They plant Cybermen as all the Cybermen they have. They both go Grey Ape. Can the Avengers stop that? I don't know.
So they don't just blow up the planet the moment they arrive. So, can the Avengers win? The major powerhouses the Avengers now have, in addition to what they had before, are Thor, Captain Marvel, and of course Scarlet Witch. When it comes to everyone else, the Cybermen that Nappa plants would likely handle all of them, as they are fortunately just like feetless foot soldiers. Something like Ant-Man, while he is obviously stronger than like a normal person, a moon level Cyberman jumping on him and blowing him up is just
Yeah, that's something that would happen to Ant-Man, bro. He would be the Yamcha of the Avengers. He would, dude, a Cyberman would hop on him and just kill himself.
a very easy win condition. It's likely that Vegeta fight everyone else at once, just like he did against the Z Fighters. If Raditz at a high ball was large planet level, then Nappa is comfortably that strong, while being just more than twice as fast as Raditz with his 4,000 power level. With the addition of 3 more roughly comparable characters or more, Nappa might not be able to win. However, not everyone is going to be able to survive. Underestimating Nappa would likely cause someone to lose an arm, or they're unlikely that any of them would be able to just 1v1 against Nappa straight up. Like before, the magic users of Wanda and Strange are definitely the most hacks-based, but as we see, Wanda really doesn't have some of the stuff that her later magic does, like with the Darkhold, and pretty much all of Strange's spells are capable of being overpowered with sheer force, like we see from Thanos. Furthermore, magic in Dragon Ball can be overpowered by sheer strength, as we see in the Buu Saga. I think it's also important to just say this here, Thor does not scale to the full power of the Infinity Gauntlet. His axe specifically was made to counter its power via its own enchantment, so his AP isn't something wild like universal or anything like that. That being said, if they use their sheer number advantage and they get through Nappa, it's over. A single blast from Vegeta, who is yet another 4 times stronger and faster, would probably wipe out everyone who's still alive.
Damn! Hold on, bro. Hey, dude, he was hyping up the Avengers, and he just said, yeah, Vegeta would one-shot all of them.
This
no
is
way,
also
bro.
ignoring that Vegeta can stack another 10 times multiplier.
Yep, with the
that.
Great Ape. Yep.
He chooses to transform into his Great Ape form,
Yep.
further dwarfing any Avenger in power. Really, the only copium victory for the Avengers.
Yo, quick question. Hey guys, you guys know how Nappa has like a mustache? If he went Great Ape, would he have like a full beard in his Great Ape form? And also, since he's bald, would he not have any hair on his head when he goes Great Ape form? These are the questions we need answered, guys. These are the questions we need answered.
If you think they all scale to Captain Marvel's flight speed and their combat speed, then maybe they could like blitz. But even then, their power.
Damn, the hairline gave him even more of a boost in power.
Vastly inferior to what Vegeta can output in like a single attack. So, could the Avengers survive a Saiyan invasion? No, probably not. However, I hope I've shown that they could do a lot better than maybe you were expecting. If you made it this far, make sure to like, comment, and do a lot better in invasion. No, attack. So, could the Avengers survive a Saiyan invasion? No.
That's crazy, dude. I did not expect that. I genuinely thought he didn't really even mention Hulk. He didn't mention Hulk. I don't know. I think Hulk. I don't know. I think he didn't mention Hulk a single time, bro. I think Hulk might be able to do it. I don't know. Something feels off. About that. I don't know. I do think Vegeta and Nappa would be able to absolutely obliterate most of the people. But like he said, Captain Marvel, Thor, maybe Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Hulk. I think those 5 are probably the strongest, and they would give Vegeta and Nappa a run for their money the most. But I think, like he said, absolute power can bypass Doctor Strange spells, so that makes sense. He also has the Time Stone. He also never really mentioned the Time Stone.